Hi, now we will summarize all what we have learned about the double entry. Yeah, so what we have learned in modern method for asset, you debit the asset when it increases, you credit the asset when it decreases. For liability, when any liability decreases, you debit it, when any liability increases, you credit it. For capital, if capital decreases, you debit it, if capital increases, you credit it. For revenue or income, when it decreases, you debit it. When it increases, you credit it. For expense or losses, when it increases, you debit it. And when it decreases, you credit it. So this is as per modern method. For traditional method, there is a lot of other rules in traditional method, but I will explain only which is easy to remember and which won't confuse you with the modern method. With asset, as per traditional method, debit what comes in and then credit what goes out. This is with assets. With third parties, any other than the organization, any person other than the organization, it can be employee, it can be supplier, customer, anybody. You debit the receiver, you credit the giver. That's the second rule. And with the nominal account, revenue and cost, the rule is debit all expense and credit all income. Yeah, so just remember these one. You don't have to remember all the rules of traditional method. If you remember these one, that will help you, which I have highlighted. Yeah, let's see the example. Suppose you start a business. Let's go one by one. Suppose you start a business and you put 1000 in that business. Yeah, so you will debit cash because asset has increased, debit what comes in. You credit share capital because share capital is increased. Yeah, if you see your method, it will be the entry. Then you buy furniture in cash, you debit furniture because it's an asset, debit what comes in, asset has increased, and then you credit cash. Yeah, because cash is asset, credit what goes out, it has decreased. You buy a now another transaction, you buy a computer on credit. Yeah, computer is asset, you debit what comes in, asset has increased, you credit or you debit the computer by 3000. Credit what? It's on credit. Yeah, you are not paid any cash. Credit supplier C because you credit the giver, and supplier is a liability and that has increased. So both the rules. You credit it. Then you pay a supplier, the same supplier. You credit cash because cash is an asset. Credit what goes out. Cash has asset which has decreased. Supplier C, you have paid. Supplier is a liability, a third party. I would say it's supplier is a third party. So you debit the receiver. If you see our rules, traditional rule, and it's a liability which has decreased. So that's why you should debit. Now, if you go for the profit and loss account entry, you paid a rent of 2000. Yeah, you have paid a cash. So you credit cash. Credit because it's an asset, it has decreased. Credit what goes out. You debit rent because debit all expenses as per traditional method, and as per modern method, if expense has increased, you debit that expense. Yeah, here. Now you have provided services and you have received cash for that services. That's a sales or revenue, whatever you want to say. Yeah, you have received cash, you debit cash because you debit what comes in, asset has increased, you debit cash. And then revenue, you credit because revenue, credit all income or gain, revenue has increased, that's why you credit revenue. Yeah, so that's all about those entries which we have discussed. To revise one more time, that all debit should equal to credit. Debit is shown as plus, credit is shown as minus. Thank you.